April 2001. Gloria was evicted from her apartment, couldn't pay rent. Again, she called LeBron at school, crying hysterically. "Baby, I don't know what to do. I don't have anywhere to go. They're kicking me out tomorrow. I tried, LeBron. I really tried, but I lost my job and I couldn't pay. And now, Mom." "Calm down," LeBron said, trying to sound strong, even though his own hands were shaking. "It's going to be okay. You're still in school. You don't have money. I'm the mother. I'm supposed to take care of you, not the other way around." Gloria's sobs broke LeBron's heart, because he could hear the shame in her voice, the failure, the self-hatred. "Mom, listen to me. You're not a failure. You're doing your best. Things are hard right now, but they're going to get better. I promise." "How can you promise that? You're 16 years old." "Because I'm going to make it," LeBron said with conviction he didn't entirely feel. "I'm going to make it to the NBA. I'm going to get us a house, a real house, with your name on it, and you'll never have to worry about rent again. You'll never have to worry about anything." 16 years old, ready to go pro. One person stopped him, saved his life. 16 years old. LeBron James made a decision. He was going to drop out of high school and go to the NBA. He had no family structure, no stable home, no money, but he had talent, and that talent was his only way out. But then something happened. One person told him to stop, and that person saved LeBron's life. Because if LeBron had tried to go to the NBA that day, he wouldn't be a billionaire now. He might be in prison. This is the story behind that decision. December 2000, Akron, Ohio. LeBron James was 16 years old, sophomore year at St. Vincent St. Mary High School. He was already a local legend. Everyone in Akron knew his name. His games were packed, scouts were watching, people were talking about him, like he was the next big thing. But LeBron wasn't thinking about being famous. He was thinking about survival, because at 16, LeBron James was essentially homeless. His mom, Gloria, was struggling bad. She'd been fighting addiction issues, in and out of jobs, in and out of homes. They'd moved 12 times before LeBron was 10. And now at 16, things hadn't gotten better, they'd gotten worse. The truth was painful. Gloria loved LeBron more than anything in the world. But love doesn't pay rent. Love doesn't put food on the table. Love doesn't keep the lights on. And Gloria, at 32 years old, was drowning in her own demons. She'd started drinking heavily when LeBron was 12, not because she wanted to, but because the pressure of being a single mum with no support, no education, no resources, it crushed her. She'd wake up every morning promising herself, "Today I'll be better. Today I'll find a job. Today I'll get a stable." But by evening, the weight of failure would pull her back down, and she'd reach for the bottle. LeBron watched it happen every day, and it broke his heart. He'd come home from practice when he had a home to come to, and find Gloria passed out on the couch, empty bottles on the floor. He'd clean up, put a blanket over her, make himself something to eat, do his homework alone, and he'd think, "I have to fix this. I have to save her. I have to save us." But how? He was 16, a kid, with nothing but a basketball and a dream. That's the context you need to understand LeBron's decision to leave school. It wasn't about greed. It wasn't about impatience. It was about desperation. A 16-year-old kid, trying to save his drowning mother. Gloria loved LeBron, fiercely, but she was drowning, and LeBron could see it. He was staying with his high school football coach Frank Walker and his family during the week, going to school from their house, sleeping in their guest room, eating their food. On weekends he'd go back to wherever Gloria was staying, sometimes a friend's couch, sometimes a motel, sometimes nowhere. It was chaos, unstable, exhausting, and LeBron felt like a burden. One night in November 2000, LeBron overheard a conversation. Frank Walker and his wife Pam were talking in their bedroom. LeBron was in the guest room next door. The walls were thin. Pam's voice, "Frank, I love LeBron. You know I do, but we can't keep this up forever. We have our own kids, our own bills, our own lives." Frank's voice, tired, "I know, but what am I supposed to do? Kick him out? Send him back to instability?" "No, but there has to be another solution. Maybe social services. Maybe social services will put him in foster care. You know what happens to kids in foster care. They get lost. I'm not letting that happen to LeBron." Silence. Then Pam, "So what's the plan?" "He lives with us until..." "When?" "Until college. Until he goes pro." "I don't know," Frank admitted. "I'm just taking it one day at a time." LeBron lay in bed, hearing every word, his stomach twisted with guilt. He was a burden. He knew it, and he hated it. That's when the thought solidified. "I need to leave. I need to make money. I need to fix this myself. Coach Walker is being nice," LeBron thought, "but I can't live with him forever. I need to figure this out. I need to take care of my mom. I need money." That's when the idea hit him. Go pro. Not after high school, not after college, now, at 16, because LeBron had heard the stories. Kevin Garnett went straight to the NBA from high school in 1995, made millions, changed his life overnight. Kobe Bryant did it in 1996. Same thing, Tracy McGrady, Jermaine O'Neal, they all did it, so why couldn't LeBron? He was already better than most high school players, better than some college players. If he could just get into the NBA draft, get drafted, sign a contract, he'd have money, he could get his mum a house, get himself a stable life, fix everything. It made sense. At least it made sense to a desperate 16-year-old. But there was a problem, a big problem. The NBA had a rule. You had to be at least 19 years old and 1 year removed from high school to enter the draft. LeBron was 16 and still in high school, so technically he couldn't enter the draft, not legally. But LeBron started researching. Late nights, library computers, basketball forums, articles about NBA draft rules. He found cases of players who tried to challenge the age requirement. Spencer Haywood, in 1971, won his case, went to the NBA early. Maybe I could do that, LeBron thought. Challenge it in court, say it's unfair, get a lawyer. But lawyers cost money, and LeBron had none. He also found stories of players who went overseas, Europe, Asia, South America, played professionally there, made money, then came back to the NBA later. That could work, LeBron thought. Play in Europe for a year or two, make some money, come back when I'm 19. But there was a catch. Going overseas meant losing NCAA eligibility. If things didn't work out, he couldn't come back and play college basketball. He'd be stuck. Still, LeBron was desperate enough to consider it, so he started thinking, what if I just leave, drop out, train for a year, turn 17, then 18, then 19? What if there's a loophole? What if I can challenge the age rule in court? Other players had tried, some succeeded. LeBron didn't know the specifics, but he knew one thing: staying in high school, staying broke, staying dependent on other people, that wasn't working. So he made a decision. He was going to leave school, figure out the NBA thing, do whatever it took, and he was going to tell Coach Walker that night. But what LeBron didn't know was this: that decision would have destroyed his life. Because here's the reality: if LeBron had dropped out of high school at 16, he wouldn't have been eligible for the NBA draft, not for 3 more years. And in those 3 years, with no structure, no school, no support system, LeBron would have been a kid with talent but no direction. And kids with talent but no direction, they fall into the wrong crowds, they make bad decisions, they end up in the system. LeBron could have ended up in jail, on drugs, dead, all because of one impulsive decision made out of desperation. But someone stopped him, and that someone changed everything. December 12, 2000. After practice, the gym was empty, except for LeBron and Coach Frank Walker. LeBron had been planning this conversation all day, rehearsing it, trying to find the right words. Frank was putting away basketballs, cleaning up, normal end of practice routine. LeBron approached him nervously. "Coach, I need to talk to you about something." Frank could tell it was serious from LeBron's tone. He stopped what he was doing, gave LeBron his full attention. "What's up, LeBron?" LeBron took a breath. His heart was pounding. "I'm thinking about leaving school, going pro, or at least trying to. I need to make money. I need to help my mom. I can't keep living like this." The words hung in the air. Frank's heart sank. He'd seen this before, talented kids making desperate decisions, and it never ended well. But he didn't react with anger, didn't lecture, didn't immediately say no. He just asked a question. "LeBron, if you leave school now, what's your plan? Specifically, walk me through it." LeBron had prepared for this. "I'll train, get better, maybe play overseas for a year or two, make some money, then come back and enter the NBA draft when I'm 19. Frank nodded slowly. "Okay, and who's going to pay for your training?" LeBron hesitated. "Where will you live while you're training?" "I don't know, maybe I can find somewhere." "And how will you get to Europe? Who's paying for that? Who's arranging the contract?" "There are agents. I met one last week," he said. "An agent approached you?" Frank's voice sharpened with concern. "Yeah, after a game, he said he could get me a contract overseas, 6 figures. Frank closed his eyes, took a deep breath. This was worse than he thought. "LeBron, listen to me very carefully. That agent is lying to you. How do you know? Because that's what they do. They prey on desperate kids. They promise you the world. Then they take a huge cut of your money, ship you overseas to some third-rate league, and if it doesn't work out, you're stuck. No high school diploma, no college, no NBA future, nothing." LeBron's confidence wavered. "But what if he's legit?" "He's not," Frank said firmly. "And even if he was, here's the bigger problem. You're 16 years old. You're not ready to play against grown men in Europe. You'd get destroyed. And then what? You come back to Akron with no options, no future. So what am I supposed to do?" LeBron's voice cracked. "Just stay broke. Keep depending on you and your family. I heard you and Mrs. Walker talking the other night. I know I'm a burden." Frank's expression softened. "You heard that?" "Yeah." Frank put a hand on LeBron's shoulder. "LeBron, you're not a burden. Yes, we're making sacrifices, but we're doing it because we believe in you, because we see your potential, and we're not going to let you throw it away." "But my mum," "I know," Frank said gently. "I know you want to help her, and you will, but not by dropping out of school at 16. That's not the answer," Frank continued calmly. "LeBron, I understand why you're thinking about this. I know things are hard, but dropping out of school isn't the answer. It's going to make things worse, much worse." "How?" if I get to the NBA. You won't, Frank interrupted gently. Not at 16, not at 17. The rules won't allow it. And even if you tried to fight it in court, you'd lose. Other players have tried. It doesn't work. Spencer Haywood did it in 1971, but the league closed that loophole. You're stuck with the age requirement. LeBron felt frustration rising, tears welling up. So what am I supposed to do? Just stay broke? Keep watching my mum struggle? Keep being a charity case? Frank's voice was firm but compassionate. First, you're not a charity case. Don't ever say that again. Second, yes, you stay in school. You finish high school. You keep playing basketball. You keep getting better. And when you're 18, when you're actually eligible, you go to the NBA as the #1 pick. You sign a multi-million-dollar contract. You get your money. You take care of your mum. But you do it the right way. The smart way. That's 2 more years, LeBron said quietly, voice breaking. I don't know if I can wait 2 more years. I don't know if my mum can wait 2 more years. Frank sat down next to LeBron, looked him in the eyes. LeBron, listen to me. If you leave now, you won't make it 2 years. You'll lose your eligibility. You'll lose your amateur status. You'll lose your scholarship opportunities. You'll lose everything you've worked for. And then where will you be? You'll be a 19-year-old with no high school diploma, no college degree, no NBA career, and no future. Is that what you want? LeBron shook his head, tears streaming down his face. And your mum, Frank continued softly, you think leaving school will help her? It won't. It'll make things worse. Because if you fail, if you don't make it, she'll blame herself. She'll think I ruined my son's life, and that guilt will destroy her. Is that what you want? No, LeBron whispered. Then trust me. Trust the process. I know it's hard. I know you want to fix everything right now, but some things take time, and this is one of them. LeBron looked down at his hands, calloused from basketball, rough from work, young hands carrying an old burden. What if something happens? LeBron asked, voice barely audible. What if my mum? What if things get worse before they get better? Frank put a hand on LeBron's shoulder, squeezed gently. Then we handle it. Together. You're not alone, LeBron. You have people who care about you. You have me. You have my family. You have your coaches. You have your teammates. We're going to get through this. But you have to stay in school. You have to trust that this path, as hard as it is the right path. LeBron was silent for a long moment, processing, thinking, weighing his options. Finally, he nodded. Okay, I'll stay. Frank smiled, relief washing over him. Good, because the world needs to see what you can do, and you can't do it if you give up now. I won't give up, LeBron said, wiping his eyes. I know you won't, because you're stronger than you think. That conversation lasted 45 minutes. It changed LeBron's life, because Frank didn't just tell LeBron what to do. He explained why. He showed empathy. He acknowledged the pain. He validated the desperation. But he also provided hope, structure, a reason to keep going, and LeBron clung to that hope like a lifeline. That conversation saved LeBron's life, because if Frank hadn't stopped him, if Frank had said do what you think is best, LeBron would have left school, would have tried to go pro, would have failed, and would have spiraled. But Frank gave him something more important than advice. He gave him hope, structure, a reason to keep going, and LeBron stayed. But wait, you need to understand how close LeBron actually came to leaving. The next day, LeBron went to school, but his mind was racing. He kept thinking, Coach Walker is right, but what if he's wrong? What if I'm wasting time? What if I could be making money right now? During lunch, a kid approached him. A senior, known for dealing drugs, not a good guy. Yo, LeBron, I heard you're thinking about leaving school. LeBron was caught off guard. Who told you that? Word gets around. Listen, if you need money, I can help you out. You do some runs for me, I'll pay you. Easy money. LeBron stared at him. This was the fork in the road. If he said yes, he'd make quick cash, but he'd also be stepping into a world he couldn't escape. If he said no, he'd stay broke, but he'd stay clean. LeBron thought about Coach Walker, about that conversation, about trust the process. No, I'm good, LeBron said. The kid shrugged, your loss, and walked away. LeBron sat there, heart pounding, because he realized that's how fast it happens. One yes, one bad decision, and your life is over. He could have said yes, could have made some money, could have spiraled into the streets, but he didn't, because Frank Walker had planted a seed. You're special, don't throw it away. And that seed was growing. But LeBron's struggles weren't over, not by a long shot. January 2001, LeBron's mum, Gloria, got arrested. Disorderly conduct, drunk in public. She spent a night in jail. LeBron found out the next morning. A social worker, called Coach Walker's house, asked to speak to LeBron. LeBron, your mother was arrested last night. She's okay, she's been released, but we need to talk about your living situation. LeBron's stomach dropped. The social worker continued. We're concerned about your home environment. If things don't stabilize, we may need to place you in foster care. Foster care. The words hit LeBron like a truck. He'd heard the stories. Kids in foster care, bounced from home to home, lost in the system, no future. No, LeBron said firmly. I'm fine. I'm staying with Coach Walker. My mum is getting help. Everything's fine. We'll need to verify that, the social worker said. We'll be in touch. The call ended. LeBron sat there, shaking. He felt like the walls were closing in. That afternoon, he went to basketball practice, but he couldn't focus, couldn't shoot, couldn't think. His coach, Drew Joyce II, pulled him aside. LeBron, what's going on? LeBron broke down, told him everything. The arrest, the social worker, the threat of foster care. Coach Drew listened. Then he said something LeBron never forgot. LeBron, you can't control what your mum does. You can't control the system, but you can control one thing: your game, your focus, your future. Don't let external chaos destroy your internal drive. You're going to make it out of this, but you have to keep your head straight. LeBron wiped his eyes. How do you know I'm going to make it? Because I've been watching you for 2 years, and I've never seen someone with your combination of talent, intelligence, and heart. You're built different, LeBron, and the world is going to see it. But you have to survive long enough for that to happen. That hit LeBron hard. Survive. That's what this was. Survival. Not thriving. Not living comfortably. Surviving. And LeBron made a decision right there. He was going to survive, no matter what. But the temptation to leave school still lingered. February 2001. LeBron had a huge game. 41 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. Dominated. After the game, a man approached him. Suit. Expensive watch. Slicked back hair. LeBron, great game. I'm a sports agent. I represent professional athletes. Can we talk? LeBron was intrigued. Sure. They stepped outside the gym, away from the crowd. The agent got straight to the point. LeBron, you're too good for high school. You should be playing professionally. Overseas, Europe, Asia. I can get you a contract right now. 6 figures. You'd be making money tomorrow. LeBron's eyes widened. 6 figures. Like $100,000. At least. Maybe more. You'd live overseas for a year or two. Play against grown men. Get better. Then come back to the NBA draft when you're eligible. But in the meantime, you're getting paid. It sounded perfect. Too perfect. Why are you offering me this? LeBron asked. Because I see potential, and I want to help you. But we'd need to move fast. My contacts overseas won't wait forever. LeBron felt the pull, the temptation, the promise of money. But then he remembered Coach Walker, Coach Drew. Their words, their wordings. I need to think about it, LeBron said. The agent handed him a business card. Call me when you're ready, but don't wait too long. And he left. LeBron stared at the card. Part of him wanted to call immediately. Part of him wanted to rip the card up. He went home, back to Coach Walker's house, and told Frank everything. Frank's response was immediate. That's a scam, LeBron. How do you know? Because agents like that prey on desperate kids. They promise you money, take you overseas, and then you lose your NCAA eligibility, your amateur status, and your leverage. You become a commodity. And if the overseas thing doesn't work out, you're stuck. No college, no MBA, nothing. But what if it does work out? It won't, Frank said firmly, because you're not ready to play against grown men in Europe. You're 16. You'd get eaten alive. And then what? You come back to the US with no options. LeBron knew Frank was right, but the desperation was still there. I just want to help my mum, LeBron said quietly. I know, Frank said, and you will, but not like this. You help her by staying on the right path, by finishing school, by getting to the NBA the right way. That's how you help her. LeBron nodded, threw the business card away. But the offers kept coming. This is where the story gets darker. LeBron was at a party. Rare for him. He didn't usually go to parties, but his teammates convinced him. At the party he met a girl, older, college-aged, attractive. They talked, flirted. She was into him. He was into her. Later that night, she pulled him aside. LeBron, I know who you are. You're going to be famous, rich, and I want to be there when it happens. LeBron was flattered, but also confused. What do you mean? I mean, she said, leaning in close. If you get me pregnant, you'd have to take care of me. And once you're in the NBA making millions, I'd be set for life. LeBron froze. His blood ran cold. She was trying to trap him. He stepped back. I gotta go. Wait, LeBron. But he was already walking away. Heart pounding, mind racing. He realized people saw him as a meal ticket, not a person, a lottery ticket. And if he wasn't careful, someone was going to trap him, ruin him, use him. That night, LeBron called his friend and teammate, Maverick Carter. Mav, I almost made a huge mistake tonight. What happened? LeBron told him everything. Maverick's response, bro, you gotta be smart. People are going to come at you from every angle. Girls, agents, dealers, everyone. They all want a piece of you. You can't trust anyone except the people who were there before the fame. Who's that? Me, your teammates, Coach Walker, Coach Drew, your real friends. That's it. Everyone else is suspect. LeBron took that to heart. From that moment on, he became more guarded, more careful, more aware. But the pressure was still building. April 2001, Gloria was evicted from her apartment, couldn't pay rent. Again, she called LeBron at school, crying hysterically. "Baby, I don't know what to do. I don't have anywhere to go. They're kicking me out tomorrow. I tried, LeBron. I really tried, but I lost my job, and I couldn't pay. And now, Mum, calm down," LeBron said, trying to sound strong even though his own hands were shaking. "It's going to be okay. Just stay with a friend tonight. I'll figure something out." "How? You're still in school. You don't have money. I'm the mother. I'm supposed to take care of you, not the other way around." Gloria's sobs broke LeBron's heart, because he could hear the shame in her voice, the failure, the self-hatred. "Mum, listen to me. You're not a failure. You're doing your best. Things are hard right now, but they're going to get better. I promise." "How can you promise that? You're 16 years old." "Because I'm going to make it," LeBron said with conviction he didn't entirely feel. "I'm going to make it to the NBA. I'm going to get us a house, a real house, with your name on it, and you'll never have to worry about rent again. You'll never have to worry about anything. Just hold on a little longer, please." Gloria was quiet for a moment, then through tears. "Okay, baby, I'll hold on. For you. I love you, Mom. I love you too." The call ended. LeBron stood in the school hallway, phone in hand, feeling like his world was collapsing. Students walked past him, laughing, joking, living normal teenage lives, and LeBron thought, "Nobody understands. Nobody knows what I'm going through." That evening, LeBron went back to Coach Walker's house, sat at the dinner table, barely ate. Frank noticed. "LeBron, you okay? My mom got evicted. She has nowhere to go." The room went silent. Pam Walker stopped eating. Their kids looked uncomfortable. Frank took a deep breath. Then he said something that changed everything. "Your mum can stay here too." LeBron's eyes went wide. "What? Your mum? She can stay here, in the guest room downstairs, until she gets back on her feet. We'll help her find a job, get her into the substance abuse program, get her stabilized, but you both stay here, together. Deal?" LeBron couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Coach, you'd do that?" Frank looked at Pam. She nodded. They'd discussed this possibility before, knew it might come to this. "Your family, LeBron, and family helps family. We're not going to let your mum be homeless. We're not going to let you worry about her while you're trying to focus on school and basketball. So yes, she can stay here." LeBron broke down crying, right there at the dinner table, in front of everyone. For the first time in years he felt like someone actually cared, like someone was willing to sacrifice for him and his mum, not out of pity, but out of love. Frank got up, walked over, put a hand on LeBron's shoulder. "We're going to get through this, all of us, together." Gloria moved in with the Walkers the next day. It wasn't perfect. She struggled with her demons, had relapses, made mistakes, but she had a roof over her head, people who cared, structure, support, and slowly, very slowly, she started getting better. Went to in Palings, found a part-time job at a local diner, started paying Frank and Pam a little bit each month for rent, even though they told her it wasn't necessary. For the first time in her life, Gloria had stability, and that stability gave her hope. And LeBron, he could finally breathe. The weight had been lifted, not completely, but enough. He could focus on school, focus on basketball, focus on his future, because he wasn't worried every night about where his mum was sleeping, whether she was safe, whether she'd be there tomorrow. She was safe, and that changed everything. But here's what you need to understand. If Frank Walker hadn't stepped in at that exact moment, LeBron would have left school. He would have said, "I can't do this anymore. I have to make money. I have to save my mum." And he would have thrown his future away trying to save her. But Frank saved them both, by opening his home, by sacrificing his family's comfort, by choosing love over convenience. That's what real mentorship looks like. Not just advice, but action. Frank Walker didn't just tell LeBron what to do. He showed him, gave him a living example of what it means to care for someone unconditionally. And that lesson shaped LeBron forever. Years later, when LeBron opened the I Promise School, when he started helping at-risk kids, when he gave back to his community, all of that traced back to Frank Walker, because Frank showed him, you help people, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when it costs you something, you help people. May 2001. End of LeBron's sophomore year. He'd survived. Barely, but he'd survived. His grades were decent. Not great, but passing. His basketball was phenomenal. He was already being called the best high school player in Ohio. And his mum, she was sober, for the first time in years, working, healing, growing. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Coach Drew pulled LeBron aside after the last game of the season. "LeBron, you made it through a hell of a year. I'm proud of you." "Thanks, coach. But next year is going to be even harder. Junior year, the spotlight gets brighter, the pressure gets heavier, the vultures start circling. You ready for that?" LeBron nodded. "I am. Good, because you're 2 years away from changing your life, 2 years from the NBA, 2 years from making millions. Don't throw it away, because someone offers you a shortcut. There are no shortcuts, just hard work and patience. I won't throw it away, LeBron promised. I believe you. Now go enjoy your summer, because when you come back, it's all business. LeBron spent that summer working out, getting stronger, getting better, getting ready, and he made a promise to himself. No matter what happens, no matter how hard it gets, I'm finishing high school. I'm doing this the right way. That promise carried him through. Junior year, dominated, led St. Vincent St. Mary to a state championship, started getting national attention. ESPN, Sports Illustrated, everyone was talking about him. Senior year, even better, consensus #1 pick, Heisman of high school basketball, the whole world watching, and through it all, LeBron stayed focused, stayed disciplined, stayed in school, because he remembered what Frank Walker told him, trust the process, and the process worked. June 26, 2003, NBA Draft, Madison Square Garden, New York City, LeBron James, 18 years old, selected first overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Commissioner David Stern announced his name. The crowd erupted. LeBron walked onto the stage, put on the Cavaliers hat, held up the jersey, cameras flashing, reporters shouting questions. But LeBron wasn't thinking about any of that. He was thinking about his mum, sitting in the front row, crying tears of joy. He was thinking about Frank Walker, also in the audience, beaming with pride. He was thinking about Coach Drew, Maverick Carter, all the people who believed in him when he wanted to quit. And he was thinking, we made it. We actually made it. After the draft, LeBron signed his rookie contract with the Cavaliers, $12.96 million over 3 years, more money than he'd ever dreamed of. The first thing he did, bought his mum a house. Not a small house, a real house, 2,500 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, big backyard, quiet neighborhood in Bath Township, just outside Akron. He took Gloria to see it, didn't tell her what they were doing, just said come with me. When they pulled up, Gloria looked confused. LeBron, whose house is this? Yours. Gloria's jaw dropped. What? LeBron handed her the keys. It's yours, Mom. Your name is on the deed. You'll never be evicted again. You'll never worry about rent again. This is your house, forever. Gloria collapsed into her son's arms, sobbing, overwhelmed. Baby, how did you? And I keep my promises. They went inside, walked through every room. Gloria couldn't stop crying, couldn't stop thanking him. And LeBron thought back to that moment in December 2000, when he was 16, when he wanted to quit school, when he thought leaving was the only option. If he'd left, none of this would have happened. He wouldn't have been drafted, wouldn't have gotten this contract, wouldn't be standing in this house with his mom. He'd probably be dead, or in jail, or lost in the system. But Frank Walker stopped him, saved him, gave him a chance, and now LeBron was here, living the dream, taking care of his mom, fulfilling his promise, all because one person cared enough to say, don't do it, trust me, stay. That's the power of mentorship. That's the power of one person believing in you when you don't believe in yourself. Frank Walker saved LeBron's life, and LeBron has spent the rest of his life paying that forward. Fast forward to 2024. LeBron James is 39 years old, billionaire, 4-time NBA champion, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. But he never forgot where he came from, never forgot the people who saved him. In 2018, he opened the I Promise School in Akron, a public school for at-risk kids, kids just like him, kids with unstable homes, struggling parents, no support systems. LeBron gives them everything they need: free tuition, free uniforms, free meals, free bicycles, free transportation, GED classes for parents, job placement assistance for families, and guaranteed college tuition for every student who graduates. It's not just a school, it's a lifeline, just like Frank Walker was LeBron's lifeline. In an interview in 2022, a reporter asked LeBron, "Why do you do so much for these kids? You're already successful. You don't owe anyone anything." LeBron's response, "I owe everything to the people who saved me when I was 16 years old. Frank Walker, Coach Drew, Maverick. They didn't have to help me, but they did. And because of them, I made it. So now it's my turn. These kids at I Promise School, they're me, 20 years ago. And if I can be for them what Frank was for me, then I've done my job." Do you still talk to Frank Walker? LeBron smiled. All the time. He's family, always will be. What would you say to him now, if you could? LeBron paused, eyes watering. I'd say thank you. Thank you for seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself. Thank you for stopping me from making the biggest mistake of my life. Thank you for opening your home to me and my mum. Thank you for loving us when we had nothing to offer in return. You saved my life, Coach, and I'll never forget that. The reporter was silent. Everyone watching was silent. Because that's the real story of LeBron James. Not just the basketball, not just the championships, not just the billions, but the survival, the moments where he almost gave up, almost quit, almost threw it all away, but didn't, because someone cared enough to stop him. 16 years old, ready to go pro. One person stopped him, saved his life. That person was Frank Walker. And the ripple effects of that one decision, that one conversation, changed the world. Because LeBron James didn't just become a basketball player, he became a symbol of hope, an example of what's possible when you don't give up. And it all started with a 16-year-old kid who wanted to quit, and a coach who said, "Not on my watch." The end. The most important decision isn't always the one you make. Sometimes it's the one someone stops you from making. LeBron James was hours away from destroying his future, but Frank Walker refused to let that happen. He saw potential where LeBron saw desperation. He saw hope where LeBron saw hopelessness. And because of that, a scared 16-year-old kid became a billionaire icon. Who's stopping you from making a terrible decision today? Who's believing in your future when you've given up? That person might just save your life, just like Frank Walker saved LeBron's. May 2001. End of LeBron's sophomore year. He'd survived. Barely, but he'd survived. And now scouts were really paying attention. National media was talking about him. The next big thing, future NBA star. But LeBron wasn't thinking about that. He was thinking about his junior year, about staying disciplined, about not screwing this up. Coach Drew pulled him aside after the last game of the season. "LeBron, you made it through a tough year. I'm proud of you. But next year is going to be even harder. More attention, more pressure, more people trying to get in your ear. You have to stay focused." "I will, coach. I mean it. The vultures are circling, and they're going to offer you everything. Money, girls, fame, and it's all designed to distract you, to pull you off course. You can't let that happen." "I won't." "Good. Because you're 2 years away from the NBA. 2 years. That's it. Don't throw it away." LeBron took that to heart. And over the next 2 years, he stayed disciplined, focused, locked in. Junior year, dominated. Led his team to a state championship. Senior year, even better. National Player of the Year. Consensus #1 pick. June 26, 2003. NBA Draft. LeBron James selected first overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers. He did it. Made it to the NBA. At 18. The right way. And the first thing he did with his signing bonus? Bought his mum a house. A real house. With a mortgage. Stable. Permanent. Gloria cried when she saw it. "Baby, you did it. You really did it. We did it." LeBron said. "We survived." And they had. Against all odds. But LeBron never forgot the people who helped him survive. Frank Walker. Drew Joyce II. Maverick Carter. His teammates. Without them, he wouldn't have made it. And he made a promise. He'd pay it forward. Fast forward to 2024. LeBron James is 39 years old. Billionaire. 4-time NBA champion. One of the greatest players ever. But he never forgot where he came from. In 2018, he opened the I Promise School in Akron, a school for at-risk kids. Kids like him. Kids with no stable homes, no support systems, no hope. LeBron gives them free tuition, free meals, free uniforms, free bicycles, guaranteed college tuition if they graduate. Because he knows, sometimes all a kid needs is one person to believe in them. One person to stop them from making a life-ruining decision. For LeBron, that person was Frank Walker. And now, LeBron is that person for hundreds of kids. In an interview in 2020, a reporter asked LeBron, "You almost left high school at 16. What would have happened if you did?" LeBron paused, thought deeply. "Honestly, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd probably be dead or in jail. Because I was desperate, and desperate kids make bad decisions. But Coach Walker stopped me. He gave me structure, hope, a reason to keep going, and I owe him my life." "Do you still talk to him?" "All the time," LeBron said, smiling. "He's family. Always will be." That's the real story of LeBron James. Not just the basketball, not just the championships, but the survival. The moments where he almost gave up, almost made the wrong choice, almost threw it all away, but didn't, because someone cared enough to stop him. And now, LeBron is stopping other kids from making the same mistakes. That's legacy. 16 years old, ready to go pro. One person stopped him, saved his life. That person was Frank Walker, and the world is better for it. Sometimes the most important decision isn't the one you make. It's the one someone stops you from making. LeBron James was hours away from ruining his life. But Frank Walker saw the future, saw the potential, and refused to let LeBron throw it away. That's what mentors do. They see what you can't see, and they fight for your future, even when you've given up. LeBron made it because someone believed in him. Who's believing in you?